I like neighborhoods like that. Our families. Parents, they make some pretty incredible pledges right here. They say that they're going to raise their child in the faith. They're going to teach them the Lord's Prayer, the Creed, the Ten Commandments. They're going to explain to them what they all mean. They're going to place the Holy Scriptures in their son or daughter's hands. And they're going to share God's holy word with them. They're going to bring them to the services of God's house so that that child has the opportunity to praise the living Lord and to grow closer and deeper in relationship with God. We need homes where parents live lives of holiness, where they love their child, teach their child, rebuke their child, help their child to find a passion in life so that they can be inspirational in their life, filled with meaning. We have too many families that are broken. Too many families where kids are running the shows, not the parents. We need families that are holy. On Valentine's Day, we need intimate relationships that are holy. If you're married, you need a marriage that's holy. If you're in relationship with someone, you need that relationship to be holy, where you honor and cherish that other person, where you set aside yourself to make that relationship grow richer. It's not nuclear science, guys. When I start become self-absorbed in my marital relationship, when I start thinking about only the things I need, when I start just getting into my little rut and doing my own thing and forgetting about sharing, forgetting about the family, guess what? It becomes awful. Because I'm doing the very thing that is the contrary of what that marital relationship needs. I do the opposite of what my family needs, and the result is disastrous. I need to reorient myself in those situations. I need to confess. I need to get real. I need to make the changes in my life so that I live a life that is indeed holy. And when I do, it impacts my marital relationship. It impacts my relationship with my kids. It impacts my relationship with my neighbors. It changes my view of my government and the world. Because holy living also affects you as an individual. Where you live a life with meaning and purpose. Where you're hooked to something greater than yourself. Viktor Frankl, he's one of the few psychologists that I really get excited about. He developed a whole theory called logotherapy. It's living your life with meaning and purpose. And it's been his discovery that people who are tied to something greater than themselves, who have a meaning beyond their own self-absorbed nature, they are people who thrive in life. So what does this holy living look like? Well, I think the first thing is to look at what it's not. St. Paul says, put to death these things. Put to death these things. Sexual immorality, impurity, lust. It's hard to have a decent marriage. It's hard to have a good, solid, intimate relationship when these things are running rampant. Put aside evil desires and greed. Workplace is really good if everyone has evil desires and greed, right? You don't know who to trust. And the work environment becomes intolerant. What kind of neighborhood would that be? Where everyone has their own self-interest and everybody's greedy about what's going on. He says, put aside these things, put to death these things, anger, rage, and malice. Too many families just have a bunch of angry people running around. You need to put to death those things, because all they do is destroy. It says, put to death these things. Slander, lying. You know, I look at our government, and I don't care which political party you're in, but I get sick and tired of all the lies, the deal making, all the corruption going on in our government. These are our leaders. And they're the ones setting the tone for the rest of the nation. And I know people say, oh, Pastor, come on, it's always been that way. I don't care. We are called to holy living, something extraordinarily different. We are called to be a nation that is based upon godly principles, a holy people. Put to death slander. Put to death filthy language from your lips. I don't know about you, but when filthy language comes out of my mouth, I feel dirty. And I feel like washing my own mouth out with soap. I feel awful, and my image of myself just starts to shrink and shrivel up. Put to death these things. Take your mind, take your heart, and tie them to higher things, things from above. These things: compassion, kindness, humility. That's what I want in relationships. That's where you feel safe, secure. Humility, gentleness, and patience. Did you know that in the 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians, St. Paul starts talking about love, and he starts explaining what love is? Do you know what the first thing he says it is? Patience. So if you want to give a great Valentine's Day gift today, be patient with the one you love. Bear with each other. Stand with each other. Be there for each other. Forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. That's how reconciliation happens. That's how relationships are restored. That's how breaks in our intimate relationships, breaks in our families, our neighborhood, that's how they're dealt with. By just laying it out on the table and being honest and seeking forgiveness for the things that you've done and granting forgiveness for what others have done. And over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Now I know this is tough. I know these things can be hard. But you know what? They're important. They're life-giving. And all those reasons that I listed, you know, that we should be doing holy living because of it impacts our world and our government, it impacts our neighborhood, our families, our intimate relationships, it even impacts our image of ourselves. You know what? All of those things are not the right reason.